Owensboro High School students recently had a special visitor. Kelsey Starks, a former Owensboro High School student, is the morning anchor for WHAS in Louisville, Kentucky. Starks took some time out of her busy schedule to talk to students about broadcast journalism. Starks covered everything from her favorite story to her most memorable story to how early she has to get up in the morning.
After UK, I was told if I wanted to be a reporter, if I really wanted to do reporting, I'd have to start small. And they say you got to start in a small town and work your way up, and that's how it goes. You know, here's a job in Paducah, or have you looked in Hazard, Kentucky, because that's where you'll have to move. And I decided, and I distinctly remember telling my counselor here at OHS when I was a junior or senior that I figured that I would probably go to New York because that's just where I wanted to live. And when I told my professors that in college, they were like, well, that's just impossible. And but when I graduated, I did. I got an internship in New York City, and I moved there, didn't know a soul, and I worked at Court TV, which is now kind of defunct, but it was a great place for me. This is like where Nancy Grace worked before she was on Headline News, and Savannah Guthrie before she was on the Today Show. I worked with all of them, and just being around those people. And it was so important too for me to be in a place where it was a big enough network where I was getting, you know, such exposure. I was at a national network, but it was also small enough. It was a lesser known network, so I wasn't getting people's coffee all day. I was actually writing and doing a lot of stuff. So I started as an intern there, and then I worked my way up to an associate producer by the time I left. And then I worked at MSNBC in New York for a while too. And I worked there as a booking producer, and that's the person who books a lot of the guests when they have experts or guests on that are talking to the anchors. That's a lot of like booking satellite time and even making travel arrangements for people. So I was kind of like, I didn't get into the business to be doing this and talking to American Airlines all day and booking some generals travel to New York. But looking back on it, it was doing sort of some of those other jobs that were outside what I thought I wanted to do that really helped me in doing what I do now. So I kind of saw it as veering off my path, but it turned out not to be. So that's something good to keep in mind too, that you're not going to jump right into it and do exactly what you think you want to do or should be doing, but it all kind of comes back around full circle, and it's all going to make the path of what you end up doing. And so I decided to go back to graduate school and get my master's degree in journalism, and I went to Northwestern in Chicago, and I worked in Chicago for a while. As part of that, I also had I worked in Washington, D.C. as a political correspondent for a Lexington station, and then I moved to Charleston, South Carolina, and I worked there as a reporter and a producer. Again, I really didn't want to be a producer. I thought I wanted to be a reporter, but I can't tell you how many producers have told me that they like working with me now because I understand producers, because I've done that before. So I think that makes a big difference too. Just doing some of the jobs around you, stuff that you didn't really think you maybe wanted to do, but it makes you better at what you set out to do. And like I said, now I'm doing a morning show in Louisville. I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning every day, and so that's fun. Another thing I never thought I would be doing. And then that's basically what I do now. And like I told you, it's so different from, I mean, 5 years ago when I moved to Louisville, I didn't have a Facebook account, you know, and now I'm required at work to do Facebook and Twitter and all of these things. So it's just changing really, really fast.
One lucky high school student even got to interview Starks.
Back at OHS?
Well, it feels great. I feel old because a lot of things have changed since I was last here. I walked in and the office is in a different place, and it's kind of strange, but it's amazing the changes, because just from the fine art stuff to the television studio, a lot has changed, and that's a great thing.
Okay, well, how about you go ahead and tell us where are you at now? What are you doing now?
I am the morning anchor at WHAS 11 Television in Louisville. I do a morning show called Good Morning Kentuckiana. I think the students probably don't even understand what amazing equipment they're working with and the resources that they have available, because a lot of the stuff is heads and tails above what professionals get to use. So they're just at such a great advantage to have this here. I'm lucky that I get to come back pretty often, and I'm not that far away anymore. It's always great to come back because it's always great to see familiar faces, and walking down the hall here at OHS and seeing old teachers and that kind of thing. It's really fun because it's visiting a time in my life that was one of the best times of my life.
For the Owensboro Public School System, I'm Dave Kirk. Thanks for watching.